بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعزائنا الطلبة، المرحلة الثالثة، كلية الطب البيطري، جامعة كركوك، العراق، علم الأدوية والسموم. الدكتور عصمت جمال جميل، دكتوراه علم الأدوية والسموم السريرية. The subject is therapeutics or chemotherapeutics, and the subject is the classification or classify the antibacterials according to the spectrum. You have narrow spectrum, the second one broad spectrum, and the third one that is called extended spectrum. The first one that is called narrow spectrum, narrow, and you have broad spectrum and then extended spectrum. Narrow spectrum, these drugs that is affect to gram-positive bacteria and Neisseria spirochetes. The example is ampicillin, penicillin G, and aminoglycosides family. These drugs called narrow spectrum. When the drug is narrow spectrum and bacteriostatic and less dose, it is better than broad spectrum and bactericidal and high dose, to prevent the resist of the bacteria. After this, we talk for what is the resist, what is the drug resistant, what is the drug residue. The second one that's called broad spectrum antibacterial drugs. This broad spectrum work more than narrow spectrum for about more bacteria. It is work for about the gram-positive bacteria in the table of microbiology, and also for about gram-negative antibacterials and rickettsia. This broad spectrum antibacterials include sulfonamides and ampicillins and tetracyclines. It is work more than narrow spectrum. In this, for example, 3 drugs, the ampicillin, when you use it in your prescription, when you write it, it is better than sulfa and tetracycline. While the ampicillin work on the cell membrane. It's not affect to the RNA, to the DNA of the bacteria, and it is also not affect to the human body. The third one that is called extended spectrum, narrow spectrum, broad spectrum, extended spectrum. These drugs is work more for about gram-positive, and it is work for about gram-positive bacteria and work for about gram-negative bacteria and spirochetes and rickettsia, spirochetes, rickettsia, chlamydia, mycoplasma, pseudomonas. You know, it is not easy bacteria. The pseudomonas, you have 2 species, pseudomonas aeruginosa, and you have pseudomonas mali. The most antibacterial drugs not affect to these. Ampicillin not affect, amoxicillin not affect, benzyl penicillin not affect. While the extended spectrum is affect to the Pseudomonas aeruginosa and Pseudomonas mali, like fluoroquinolone, especially the 3rd, 4th generation. When you use the recent generation, the 3rd, 4th is better than 2. 2 is better than 1. Why? The drug will be more benefit and will be less toxic, but the price will be expensive, not cheap. For example, the drugs for about fluoroquinolone, like enrofloxacin, it is the second generation. Enrofloxacin, ciprofloxacin, norofloxacin, oofloxacin, etc. I give you one example for about fluoroquinolone. Quinolone, it is an old family. Added to in fluor, it will be recent family that is called fluoroquinolone. It is an extended spectrum. Another example, you have combination. When you make combination, it is better than one drug. When you use the drug, contain 2, 3, like this. You see this penicillin, here you have, we see the composition of the drug here. 1 ml contained 100,000 international unit procaine penicillin G, 100,000 international benzathine penicillin. When you see benzathine work long, it is long-acting drug for about some days work, and the company write on him LA long-acting. You have the third drugs, 200 milligram dihydrostreptomycin sulfate. It is a combination drug. It is better than one drug. This also only oxytetracycline, but here 1 ml contain 300 milligram of oxytetracycline. It will be LA long-acting. If 200 milligram oxytetracycline or 100 milligram oxytetracycline, it will be not long-acting. It works for about 12 hours or 1 day, 200 milligram for about maybe 2 days, but more than 2 days, 300 milligram, that's called long-acting. But this drug is better due to it has combination of 3 drugs. So the combination is good. Like this, you know see the ceftriaxone. Ceftriaxone is the 3rd generation of the cephalosporin family, also sulbactam. This combination 2 drugs, it is better than one. Due to the dose will be decreased and the toxicity and the attack of the kidney and liver will be decreased. So the extended spectrum work more for about the more bacteria, especially the combination. Combination is good. Here you have combination of antibacterial drugs like clavulanic acid, clavulinate, and ticarcillin. It is the in the classification of penicillin. It is the type of penicillin. Clavulanic acid or clavulinate increase the duration of action of the drug. Also probenecid increase the duration of action of the drug. Are you here for about of procaine penicillin? Why added to penicillin procaine? Procaine, it is a local anesthetic drug. Why? To increase the duration of action of the penicillin. It works for about 6 hours or 8 hours when you make combination with procaine. It is local anesthetic. The duration of the period of the penicillin increased to 1 day, to 24 hours, sometimes more than this. Also decrease the pain in the area when give injection IM, intravascular, in the gluteal muscle. Penicillin, when added to him procaine, you know, AIN, any medical term finished, it is called local anesthesia, decrease the pain and increase the duration of action of the drug. So the combination is better. Here you have drug and added to him clavulanic acid to increase the action of the drug, to increase the period of the time of the drug on the bacteria. Thank you.